We were snowboarding and we had like stopped on the side and some dude came somewhat close to us and
Swoop
maybe
right next to me.
did a little powder in our direction, and Randy got up. He was like, "What?"
Welcome back to the Swayside Connection podcast. And on today's episode, we're just trying new stuff out here. And so this is our first roundtable. So we have multiple people on the podcast today. And if we could just kind of go around the room and just go ahead and introduce yourself, fellas.
Well, so I'll start off. My name is Randy Panotis, aka Randy Peasy.
Randy Pease.
What's up? This is Jay. Y'all see me already?
What's up?
Jay
What's
from
up?
episode 4.
Yep.
Three.
What's up? This
Three,
is
my bad. The first of class of 1997 to join the podcast, representing today. Let's go. For people out there that might be a little timid to join the podcast, you could bring your friends too. So maybe you don't have to be by yourself as well. But we're just going to try something new. And so Randy's got a treasure trove of pictures from back in the day that he's gonna flip up throughout the episode, but we'll try to keep these. Try to guess who that is, everybody.
That's amazing.
We don't want to give it away, but dang, that dude's a stud right there. But yeah, so I will try to mediate between all of us and try to keep things moving. But I kind of wanted to do one of these. What year was that, by the way?
This had to have been because this is when we started karaokeing at my house a lot. We would skip school just to do karaoke. So
Wow.
this was
Hey, Filipino pastime right there, karaoke.
it was funny because it was me, Jonah would come over. It was a bunch of other people who would come over. Jared, Corey Jones, Charles, Monica. Monica would come over.
That's crazy to do some karaoke.
Hey,
Sorry, my dog's
these
going
dudes look
crazy.
hard right here.
Is that Mickey and the other one's blurry? I can't really see.
Yeah.
Jason Walters.
Yep.
And it's all good, Jay, if your dogs are barking, like I said, the software does a pretty good job of removing background noise anyway. So even if they're barking up a storm, it's all good. You don't have to worry too much about it. What grade was that, Randy?
My gosh, bro.
3rd grade? 4th grade?
It doesn't even say. This is age 10. I was 10 years old, so that would be
Probably like
fourth
5th grade?
4th grade.
5th grade?
Position, starting catcher. Team, Thunderbolt.
Hey, what's crazy is I think I actually met Randy and like a bunch of the guys from Evergreen in 5th grade because so we played rec basketball and I was on Schwery's team. Schwery's mom was our coach. And they actually had Coach Fripp, who winded up being Cedar Crest's coach. I know he coached you, Jason.
Yep.
So Coach Fripp was their coach, and we winded up scrimmaging them a couple times over at Evergreen. And then, yeah, that's actually when I first met like Randy and Robert
Sandman.
and a bunch of other cats.
That's tight. Actually, let's speaking of elementaries, can we go around the room and just kind of mention, because you didn't get a chance, Jay, and you just kind of said it just now, but like everybody kind of mention like where you were born, your elementary school, and then how you came to Spanaway.
Go ahead, start off, Obi.
All right. So
Yeah, go ahead,
I was
Jason.
actually
Yeah.
me and my brother, we were actually born in Massachusetts. Left there, I don't even remember it. We left there real early. Went to Wichita, Kansas, was in school there for a little bit. Moved to Florida, and then came out here. And I want to say my first elementary was Spanaway Elementary. And then I think I went to Camas. And then from Camas, I went to Elk Plain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, damn.
And then, from El Plain, went to obviously Cedar Crest and then Spanaway. So,
Was that the same for your brother too? Is it just you and your brother? Yeah.
yeah, just me and Josh. Yep. All the same. Yep.
Yeah. So I was
How
born in
you came to Spanaway?
Frankfurt, Germany.
Dang, that's right.
Yeah,
Another German.
1980, and I don't remember what the hospital was called though, to be honest. But I was there till I was right around 5 years old. I was back and forth from the States, but really came here in Washington in 1985. Grew
Wow.
up in Spanaway, right off Military Road. I stayed with my aunts for a few years until we bought our house on 17th Avenue, 64th Street.
Yep.
And then went to Spanaway Junior High. I mean, ever since then, I've been in Spanaway,
Do you remember anything from Germany? I know you were only. I don't remember anything from Germany, but
Yeah, what really stood out to me was I remember going on the subway, going downtown, and like there was cobblestones everywhere. And I remember when my mom went shopping, I would go across the street or in the center, and they had this glass blowing place where they had all the windows open. You could just watch them blow glass and dip candle. You know how they made candles back there too?
yeah,
They would dip it and then it would cut it and make that fancy, design to those candles.
sure. That's tight.
So and then in the I think it was in the Swiss Alps or somewhere in the mountains where like you would walk along these trails, and along these trails were these big like wooden like music boxes, so you put money in them and all these puppets would just freaking just go off. Yeah, and I remember walking on these trails and there was a bunch of them, and then at the top right was this little roller coaster. It's kind of like the one in Leavenworth, how you get into this little box car and then it just kind of gravity just kind of takes you all the way
Snap.
down the mountain. Yeah. And that's the only thing I really remember, man. And then going to school, I would walk to school and it was like across the street from these apartments. But I mean, just really choppy memories. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
those
you remember that.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are still pretty solid ones too. So, and then Nolder, where were you born again? And then elementary again.
I was born in Tacoma, the old Tacoma General, which is actually in Lakewood. It's in Lakewood now. It was off 100th Street back when I was born.
Oh yeah.
Grew up in Lakewood. That's where my family moved from New York, and they settled in Lakewood, stayed there. I lived in Lakewood until end of 3rd grade. And then between that summer, I moved out to Spanaway, and I went to Camas Prairie starting in 4th, then Cedar Crest, and wound up at Spanaway Lake. So, and I actually, still have a couple of friends that I still talk to that I grew up with back in Lakewood.
All right, I'm back.
That's tight.
I'm back.
So
real quick, now, do you guys? So I have you three on. Do you guys remember when you guys met each other? Do you remember the first time you met these guys?
I didn't hang out with Jay until like towards the end of high school.
Yeah, I mean, when Randy and I really started hanging out was more towards the end of high school. I originally remember meeting him, or at least like, seeing him, saying what's up in elementary. And then actually in junior high, a girl that went to Spanaway and then transferred to Cedar Crest, I was actually dating her.
Asia.
No, Kristen, it's crazy. And I remember actually going over to her house over by Spanaway Jr. And one day Randy was just over there, right?
Fighting
so like I
somebody,
met him.
probably.
Huh?
Probably fighting somebody.
Probably. He's a fighter. So, but then, yeah,
We'll get to that.
Randy and I, really met each other more in high school. And then towards the end, we started hanging out. Jason, I was in 7th grade. He was in 8th. We met then. And then I kind of became friends with Josh when he was in 7th. And we've been close ever since then.
That's tight.
That was senior ball?
Yeah.
Yep.
I would see him on the basketball court because typically back then I was either playing hoop or just, hanging out with my girlfriend at the time. You know what I mean? In junior high, we hung out. There were so many people in my neighborhood. We had Corey Jones. Jesse Brazier, Luke lived there, Burley, Barrett, Forberg, and then on the same street was Mr. Wright was down the street about 10 houses. And then if you go a little further, fucking who else was there? Darius lived on the other street, Terrence, and then the next block would be Colleen, Danny Berger, Ezra Kim, Crystal. They were all in that little cul-de-sac. So we would go to that neighborhood and play ball all day long.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. But I didn't really meet Jason until later on in high school. Really, I mean, we talked to him here and there, you know, but didn't really hang out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
That's what's up.
basketball. That's why, like, when like all the like every time he was name dropped, you know, like on the basketball court, I would always talk and be like, man, when because you know,
Here, let me
my bad.
let me show the glass real quick so everybody can see it.
That still blows me away because I don't even know if I ever even got one of those glasses.
Same.
From
I
For
snatched
sure.
it off the table. I snatched it off our table.
How would you still have that?
That's what I mean. That's what I was like, dude, that's crazy. Okay, we can hear you now, Jason. Go ahead and
Yeah, no, I
what
was
were you
just
just
saying
saying?
it was just about basketball, you know, Spanaway and Cedar Crest, and then we all got to high school, and that's kind of like how we all met. And I just remember Randy being vicious on the basketball court, bro. Like, hey, for real, man. He pretty much got fouled every time, you know. Or if somebody
Yeah,
called
definitely
foul,
got fouled. Definitely.
if somebody called foul, he was like, "Nah, that wasn't a foul." And then it was on after that, bro.
It was
So
that little man syndrome, bro. It was that little man syndrome. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty accurate. He did foul me, though. I'm going to take that. So, you know, I should have got it. He did.
goaltend. He said it wasn't.
It was a goaltend. It was a goaltend, sorry.
Hey,
But yeah, I did push him. As soon as he started walking away, I pushed him, and then I rushed him, and then everybody got in our way. So
Yeah.
that's that maniac coming out.
Maniac, right? Yeah,
Yeah, Maniac. That was
and
actually
and Mad Circle, right? Wasn't that
that
the
was
two?
started down in junior high when we called our little clique Maniac. We actually jumped each other in,
Wow.
squared up. Yeah, and then during high school, me and Jay were just talking about this. It was Gary Green who he came up with a name called W Wonder Bread, the Wonder Bread Boys. And then there was another group called the Midgets. And so what we would do in between classes, if you got caught slipping, you getting jumped. So
Wow.
you would have somebody, it wasn't bad, it was just kind of play. You would run and then somebody would grab you and do the Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin against the stunner against the like the lockers and shit. Then somebody else would rush them and just, you know, we would do that. And so we would get in trouble all the time from the teachers. They would report us. Yeah, it was crazy. We were so bad.
So who made up Maniacs?
You know what? I couldn't even. You would have to ask Sam.
No,
man.
I mean like who was the members of Maniacs?
Corey, Josh, Daniel, Jared, Jamie, little pup dog, and I believe that's it. And that was the group of people that always hung out, that always played hoop together. Like we would go to Gagne Park, and that was our clique. We would just hoop it up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was actually a handful of places that every week, you know, we would all meet up, like the church on 22nd. It's they had an open gym there, and everybody would play there. It was just so much fun, man.
No.
Actually, I've been trying to get back into it, but not really. I mean, if
Me and Randy were just talking about linking up and playing some around the world. That's basically where I'm at.
You gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. No, that's
but yeah,
hilarious.
no, we definitely got to get back into it. I mean, we're only getting older, you know, and that's one of my passions. But my second passion would be snowboarding.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, we've been snowboarding, me and Jay, since I think 18.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last few years, it's hard to get out there because life gets in the way. I mean, it's more expensive now, you know, for a ticket,
sure.
it's almost $200, and then you got to pay for gas and food. I mean, it could be like a $300 day just for one person.
I mean, honestly, cost aside, we snowboard on Saturday. We're done until Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like we don't do it enough.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like Sunday, nothing's getting accomplished whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like your legs are absolutely murdered. Because I will say, even though we're 45, Randy and I are still those dudes that if it closes at 4 and it's 3:55 and the dudes are like, one more lift, one more run, we're on that run and we are up there killing it. I
Yeah.
promise you.
Until they turn us away. Until they turn us away and say, hey, we can't let you up.
Jason, do you snowboard, ski?
Hell, no.
What type of hobbies do you do outside of so if you're not doing any of the like snowboarding and stuff? I like snowboard. I just haven't been in so long.
He likes Winco a lot.
Grocery
I
shopping
like Winco.
Saturday morning, baby.
Hey, this was my favorite teacher right here.
Miss Hamilton.
Yeah, man, I loved being in her class, man. She was
Yeah.
dope. I think because she let a lot of stuff slide, with the homies in there.
For sure. And you guys haven't seen this podcast yet because it'll come out because I just recorded another one earlier today. But I was saying, like, I think there is an opportunity out there where you guys could start, or anybody could start. People our age could start like a YouTube channel around basically just finding deals at places like Winco, Safeway. Because the person I talked to today lives in Missouri, and they were talking about going to Aldi's, and I was like, "What?"
Aldi's
And I was
dope.
like, yeah, that's what I said. And I was like, dude, if you did a video of all these, I'd watch that. Like, dude, basically anything, any type of grocery type material. And what's also crazy is like, you could do stuff there too. So, right, like if two people were to go together, you could, like the microphone that Randy has, like you could just take one of those with you to the grocery store and you could do like interviews there, just yeah, that's who I interviewed today.
Is that her? Yeah, I remember her. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
I know what she looks like.
That's crazy you pulled that out. That all I said was Missouri. And then, yeah,
you're talking about, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, no, you'll see because that podcast will have already come out by the time this one comes out. But no, that was real cool. It was real quick. And so Saturday morning, Jason, let's talk about this. You were saying Saturday mornings is your
I like early
go
morning.
ahead.
Early morning at the grocery store. Nobody's in there except a few moms and some older people. And look, hey, I'm not gonna lie. Well, yeah, older than me, but dude, it's therapeutic, bro. I was telling Jay, always laughs about this. He's like, hey, what are you doing this week? And I'm like, man, I'm definitely gonna be at the grocery store. It's my alone time. You know what I mean?
Which spot is your spot? That's a tight picture, by the way.
Winco's a good spot. I like Winco. Safeway, Safeway early Saturday or early morning, they put out all the manager special meats that are discounted 30-50% off. Jay don't buy 50. He would probably never shop in this area, but
I see it. I pass it up.
But you don't shop there, bro. I already know.
I shop at Safeway.
Yeah, but you don't shop in the look, sometimes you get to the manager special and there's like 3 people. You gotta wait and they're going through it all. And I'm kind of looking over their shoulder going, oh man, yeah. So then you gotta wait. They pick through it.
You have to box people out.
You got it.
Yeah.
Unless they're older. I'm gonna let the older.
So people are onto it at Safeway. This is a Safeway thing.
Safeway and Albertsons.
Saturday mornings. They put out manager specials. I like around what time? We're putting people on game.
It's early because they put it out and it gets picked through. So if at the end of the day, there's usually just pork. A lot of it's pork.
He can't give out all the secrets, bro, because then he's got more competition.
True.
Even if I'm going into the grocery store for just like one item, I hit up the meat department. That's the first place I go because you never know.
You never know.
I just got some steaks the other day, 50% off.
Forget about it.
What kind?
The color, sometimes the color's not on point. Like I said, Jay would never pick these up in a million years.
The color will throw me off every time. If the color's off, I'm like...
They taste like steak, bro. The color, whatever. By the time you season it...
It's like butter?
you'd never know if I cooked it up and gave it to you. You'd never know it was 50% off.
So what are these cuts? Are they like New York ribeyes? What do we got?
Yeah,
Like,
whatever. It don't matter. I don't even know
yeah.
why they're like. I don't even know why they're discounted. I'm assuming because
It's all because they just were packed a couple days ago and they never were bought. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'd still get those. I'd freeze those right away. If not,
Yep.
cook them right away.
That's what you do. You
either
get
gotta
them,
cook
throw
them right
in the
away or
freezer.
freeze them right away.
Yeah.
And then call it good.
You can get a lot of thinking done in the grocery store. Okay, you can go. You
Listen,
can figure life out in the grocery store.
I just
For
picked up
sure.
a beautiful cut of halibut at Costco,
Okay.
and I made me some beer battered halibut last night, and it was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Flaking, I think it was nothing special. I just bought the pre-made. I actually bought a beer. I don't drink beer, but I bought a beer, mixed it with it, threw some Cajun seasoning.
It was just add beer and then add seasoning to it.
Yeah, and I mean you don't have to add seasoning, but I like mine. I always like mine a little spicy, so I'll add some spice to it.
And so you just dip it in egg and then dip it in that batter.
No egg, just straight into the beer batter. Coat it real good, and then the key though, because the last time I made, and usually I won't always fry it. I know this is crazy that we're talking about
30-year-old content. This is the stuff I'm talking about,
real
guys.
content.
People
Hey,
are like,
this is the real stuff we're talking about these days.
It is.
Exactly.
I love it.
And Costco is probably my favorite place to go on, just
Yeah.
in general.
I already talked to Brian Slater about it, and we've seen each other at Costco. We love Costco. Just the other day when I was at Costco, I seen Jason and Heidi Walker, and I see a lot of people at Costco. Like, it's the best place in the world.
It is.
Dude, I think you should do videos in there. You could do videos in there, man.
It's Disney for grown-ups.
I will say, so the last time and usually I'll because I don't like to do fried all the time. I mean, obviously it's not the best
Sure.
for you.
Yep.
So I like a blackened or a baked fish, but when I do make beer battered, obviously I will fry it. The last time I kind of screwed up. I didn't let the oil get hot enough.
Yeah, that's not good.
It just wasn't, it wasn't my best outing. This time I made sure, and I'm telling you, it was on point. A little bit of lemon, a little bit of cocktail sauce, phenomenal.
That's tight. That's tight. You don't have to dip it in egg. It's just straight fish because it's already wet pretty much, right?
Yeah. And
then
the beer batter just covers it.
Sticks to it. Yeah, because that's the problem.
I've done like a Cajun fry as well, or like more of like a cracker meal, or more of that kind of fry, and those are good too. But there's something about that beer batter is kind of like tempura a little bit, so it's a little bit fluffier, flakier.
For sure. What type of oil are you using?
So this time I actually used vegetable. Before I used peanuts.
Okay.
So you want to use an oil that's susceptible to high heat.
Yeah.
And that's very neutral in flavor because you want to taste the halibut. You know what I mean? You don't want to change it up with different oils that are going to make it taste like that oil.
No, I go to the store every day, pretty much. If I don't go, the wifey goes.
Yeah. Oh, Randy,
I don't like to buy.
Randy, can you turn your camera to? Yeah. Perfect. Exactly.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. I don't necessarily buy food and then keep it in the fridge. We typically just buy it same day and cook it all the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to cook though. I mean, I love to cook.
Nice. Like what? What are some of your main dishes that you like to? Do you cook a lot of Filipino food?
Pancit?
I mean, not a lot, but like when people request it, like pancit, lumpia, I'll cook that.
Some chicken adobo?
A lot of chicken adobo. My kids love that. A pork adobo. Well, yeah, I like pork adobo better than chicken adobo.
Same.
I do cook this other like tomato base called caldereta.
Yes, caldereta,
Yep. And then another meal that I cook on the weekends, usually, like maybe once a month, is a German meal called rouladen.
What?
So basically, it's like a thin slice of meat. You put like this German mustard. Then you chop up some onions, some pickle, like dill pickle, chop up bacon, and then salt and pepper, and you roll that bad boy up, right? So you make a
Yeah.
bunch of those, and then you like simmer it in this in water that just covers the meat, and then you add like this German wine called Glühwein.
What?
Yeah, so I get Glühwein from the World Market, but sometimes when I go to Leavenworth, I'll go buy a couple bottles, from there.
Where'd
And
you
then a
get
bunch
this
of
recipe from?
Damn, you're cultured, bro.
For real.
Actually, I just looked it up online, and because one of my buddies was cooking it, but I wanted to see the true, the authentic recipe. And I just kind of, I don't ever measure anything. I just kind of throw some stuff in, and then I'll taste it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you ask me to give you a recipe, I'm just gonna tell you the ingredients and just, kind of,
Good luck.
yeah, good
'Cause-
luck.
Well, also people like things different, right? Like I like things spicier. Jay doesn't, right? It's like, so
I
it's just
love
like,
spice.
okay. I mean, well, I was just saying as an
Oh
example.
yeah,
I didn't mean
Okay.
like,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
my bad. I love spice.
What? So how spicy do you like? Do you
Listen,
like your
bro.
stuff, Jason?
So
Jay, sorry.
I just went and visited Matt Polis in North Carolina in September. We went to this halal spot after like the bar late night and everything. And he's like, you want it regular, you want it spicy? And I was like, I want it extra spicy. And he was like, how spicy are we talking about? And I was like, make it as spicy as you can. Like you probably can't make it
Wow.
spicy enough. But yeah,
Wow.
I'm telling you.
I
And
didn't know
it's
you were
crazy because
down like that.
I never used to do anything like that. Like nothing.
yeah. This is out of the
Yeah,
ordinary.
that's what I thought. Like at
Now,
UW,
though,
did you eat spicy at UW?
no, so actually the
See?
first time I ever really ate spicy was I went to Wingdome right by UW
Yeah.
in the U District. And that was the first time I ever really had spicy wings, right?
And they go up to 7 Alarm. 7 Alarm is
Yep.
like
And
the
so I had gotten, actually, I was with Randy. I had gotten some number
For
five.
real?
Yep. I got some number fives and I had gotten some number sixes.
Number 5 is whoo.
Number fives are perfect. Sixes were like, I mean, I could handle them, and now I could probably handle them better. But
Wow.
they got to where like you were like, whoa, this is getting over the top.
Randy, do you like spicy?
Yeah, I like spicy. And actually, that day that we were eating, there was this Mexican dude next to us.
My gosh.
Hey, we look over, and this dude is just dripping sweat, right? And we're like, dude, what number did you get? He was like, what's the top one? 7, right? 7's the alarm.
Yep.
7 Alarm, yeah.
He got the
7
number
Alarm.
7, and I was like, dude, you like that?
Bro,
He's like,
this dude was in the back corner by himself, waxing number 7s, and he completely drenched. I mean, covered. I mean, everything pitted out, sweat here. And I mean, he didn't look comfortable at all. But he said he was enjoying himself, so whatever. But yeah, no, and it's crazy because usually people when they get older,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I can't do spice anymore.
No,
For
I still
me,
love spice.
it's opposite. I've actually increased in spice as I've gotten older. I don't know what it is. I love spice.
Like you say 5, so that's how I could tell. Like I'm more of a 4.5. I think 5s are too strong, like too spicy. I could probably eat 1 or 2, but then I wouldn't really like to eat any more after that. But like
Yeah.
4s is like perfect for me. Like, well, like I said, I'm in between 4 and 5 because I like spicy too, but it's
yeah,
kind of
definitely,
like,
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, 4 or 5.
Bro, I challenged that halal guy and I was like, yo, make it as spicy. And he was like, okay, all right. And he was like serious about it too. He was like, I'm going to get you. And then I got home and I ate it and I was like, it's spicy, but like I've had spicier is what,
So I have this funny story. I went to Kent. There's like this, it was me and Daniel and Karina and the girl I was dating at the time. And we go to this crab boil place in Kent. I forgot what the name of it was. And it goes, their spice level goes up to 5 stars, right? So I'm like, I go, do you guys go up to 6 stars? Right. And then she was like, we go up to 20. I was like, yeah. I was like, that makes no sense that you have 5 stars and that your thing goes all the way to 20. I just don't understand how that works. How that.
Hey,
So
she was
it's,
lying. She was pulling your leg.
I don't know. Well, so I asked for an 8, and the 8 was still pretty. It was pretty spicy. So it was. I thought it was good. It was like, to me, it was perfect. But
So
I just thought that was a funny. So I was like, if you go up to 20, why do you only have 5 stars listed? Like you don't have 15 other stars listed as possible
yeah,
choices for people to
that's
get.
quite a bit of a difference for sure.
Because a lot of places have 1 extra star, right? So if it's 3, if it goes up to 4 star, they'll have a 5 star. If they have a 5 star, they'll go up to 6 stars. So when she said 20 stars, I was like, what the hell? That's so random. So yeah,
It's a big jump, no doubt.
It was.
That's a big jump.
Jason, you doing okay over there?
How's your internet over there, bud?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you. Yeah.
Wi-Fi is terrible out here, man. It's terrible.
Have you
It's
tried
funny 'cause
using a computer?
Heinz is in Samoa in a third world country, and
I
he's
know.
getting better than you are, bud.
Yeah, but I'm in Graham, so I'm kind of in a third world country.
That's crazy. Yeah. Graham is kind of out there, but I mean, this
So
is
actually,
really out there.
speaking of the seafood boil, not that long ago, me and Jason and Josh and the whole O'Brien family, we went to was it Captain Crawfish? I think it's called. It's in Lakewood.
Lakewood, yeah.
Nice.
And they had I can't remember what their hottest was called.
Jason, do you like spices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
As much as
Yeah.
Jay, or do you like the level that Jay? Are you like around the same level, one level? I'm like probably one level below Jay.
I mean,
as
I'm
far
not
as
trying.
how.
I mean, I don't want to like ruin the meal, but
Same. I agree.
Yeah.
But you want to feel a little bit of pain.
Close to what I like.
yeah, I don't
You
mind
want
my
to feel
sinuses
it.
being cleared up. I mean,
Yes.
sweat a little bit, but
Yeah. No, I get. No, that's okay. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh,
So
I
you
was
guys are
just
out.
saying, I want it, and it was really good. I can't remember what their hottest was, but I did get it. But it was crazy because like a lot of the spice settles down to the bottom, and so you don't really, unless you stir it, you're not getting. Wow.
wow.
That was when Randy and I lived together in our early 20s. But you don't really get the spice level until you stir it.
Yeah.
And then when I actually stirred it, I was like,
It was hot. It was
I
hot.
was like, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about. Like, yeah, it was up there.
That's funny.
See right there.
Sarah Dre.
What one left?
See, no, that's Sandra, and then there's JoJo.
On the right, behind JoJo.
That's
Yeah.
what Sarah standing up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's in the front left?
That's Brandy.
Gotcha.
Hey, here's
That's Jody, right?
that's Jody right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I really met, I met Robert in junior high. He obviously went to Spanaway. I went to Cedar Crest. They all played like Duke and Ralph Weddle. Played on Eric Michael's dad's summer league baseball team, and I picked up with them for like a couple tournaments, and so that's when I like really met all those guys. And when I met Rob,
Cheers.
salud.
Yeah, keep trying, Jason, going sideways. Actually,
I keep doing it and it doesn't change. I'm gonna
It's
try
okay.
to I'll try to
no,
leave.
just this is my first like multi-person, so we're just trying. I've never used this software with more than one other person. So
Grams at 98%, baby.
So Jason, man, we were talking about like recipes and stuff. Like, you were talking about the grocery store. Like, what's some of the what are some of your favorite things to like cook at home, to make at home? Like, besides steak, obviously steak, right?
Yeah, I mean, I cook a lot of I'll cook adobo pork. I like pork adobo over chicken adobo. I like the fattier meat.
Yeah. Do you ever use pork belly to make adobo?
I just marinated a bunch of pork belly and put it on the Blackstone. It was fire.
That's what's up. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, you cook a lot of Filipino food.
I mean, adobo, the easy ones. There's some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Lola's not around for
Lola's
the
not around
extravagant.
anymore. No.
Hey, actually, speaking of Lola, so listen, Jason's family and my family, we're super close still to this day. We always go to Hawaii together, and we used to always go to the Muck. We always used to go to the Muckleshoot all you can eat crab
I
buffet,
missed
right?
that. Yes, I missed that because they
And
don't have it no
so
more, right?
it's been
I don't
so
think they
long
have.
since we've been.
I know they
Yeah,
stopped it for a long time. I don't know if
They
they brought
stopped
it
it
back.
for a long time with COVID, right?
yeah, and I don't think they brought it back yet. I mean,
But it was crazy because back in the day, Lola would go with us, and she would always out of her purse
Yeah.
pull out. You
Garlic
know
vinegar.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Garlic vinegar.
Garlic vinegar,
Yep.
and put it on the table, and everyone would start waxing that garlic vinegar, and it was just funny. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, she brought garlic vinegar to Hawaii and brought it out at the restaurants.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Hawaii would probably be one of those places that they would most likely have it at the restaurant at a lot of restaurants anyway. I feel like, but
I mean, there's hella Filipinos working there, and
exactly.
I want to say we were at a little restaurant at one of the resorts, and I think we asked one of the ladies for garlic vinegar, and she kind of laughed because she probably, she knew what we were like talking about, and it didn't matter because, like I said, Lola, she brought a jar of it anyway, so we already had it on. We already had it at the table.
Yeah, uh, that's crazy. Now we were talking about grocery stores. Have you guys found any any new exciting items you guys have found at like just going out grocery?
Oh, there's maniacs to the fullest right there.
What color were you guys repping?
Nothing, man. We didn't have a particular primary.
Now, hey, so is my memory gone, or did you guys have beef with Mad Circle from Cedar Crest? No?
No, we
Okay.
never had beef.
Hey, so back to your question, Heinz. Instead of this
Yes.
gangster stuff these guys are talking about, I will say, so one of my other favorite spots to go to, I don't go there very often. It's super expensive, but they have the most amazing stuff there, period. I'll go to North Tacoma, and they have the Metropolitan Market.
I love the Met.
I've also
Yes.
been there in Bothell. I've been to that one as well. But I don't do the cookie very often because I am
Yeah,
diabetic.
yeah.
But the cookie is the absolute, like, it's the most amazing cookie you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, it's
Like,
good. For sure.
it's ridiculous.
That's tight, Randy. Brienne had hers too.
How do you have all this stuff still?
I
bro?
know, that's so gangster.
I keep it, man. I collect all that stuff.
I know I have some of it somewhere, but like, I think I know where it's at, but I definitely don't have as much stuff as you have for sure.
Dude, for real. Out of everybody that's been on the show, because everybody talks about that's tight.
Yeah, like how?
That's
What
tight
is
that you
that?
have that.
What is that?
It's like he
Is
knew,
Jason in that? Is Jason in that? Is Jason in that program?
He should be. Dave Thomas, Greg, Steve Bitts, Schwery.
That
Those
was
are
a
some
squad,
names right
man.
there.
That
Hey,
was a squad.
speaking of Bocce,
That squad should have been much better than.
for a while
man.
there, I was seeing Bocce up at the gym all the time.
Nice.
And it was crazy too because I kept giving him crap because I'm like, yo, how am I not gonna see you on the basketball court? I'm like, because Bocce's a player, right? And I
For
mean,
sure.
I know he had his injury, whatever, but he said he hasn't played in so long, and I was like, bro, you have to get back on that.
Jason, Randy, when's the last time you guys played?
Gosh, bro.
He graduated 28 years ago, probably 28 years ago.
28 years, yeah. And hey, it's funny too because basketball has been kind of a topic on the podcast, and then
Yes.
but and Randy's just constantly putting up pictures. I like that.
I love it.
Crazy.
But my senior year,
Yes.
I always had Berm and Coach Leslie for basketball through Spanaway.
Yes.
And then my senior year was
Hostess first year.
So, and look, I mean, I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, I was young back then, cocky,
Wow.
probably a bit of a smart ass,
Yes.
But and I'm sure he was a great dude, great, teacher, because everybody had nothing but nice things to say about him. So I can only assume like I was completely at fault in high school. But when he took over, I think, at least from what I can remember, I'm like, man, like, dang, Berm, like they're getting rid of Berm and Leslie, like, and they're bringing in this new guy.
Yeah.
Long story short, bro, like we all quit except Ryan Pendon on the basketball team. We
Yeah.
quit senior year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What losers? I
I
mean,
know, right? It's terrible.
I get it though. Like, dude, he's the newbie, and it's like, like
It's
it
funny.
was your senior year too. So
It was my senior year, and
snap.
we were
There
young,
we
and I didn't
go.
realize he was so young coming in as a coach and a teacher.
yeah, I
So
mean, he's all
that
for
had to be
sure.
hard, dude. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's why I feel like when, interviewing him, I think he realizes it too. Like later when he talks about, he mentions how much enjoyable coaching track was because, because you don't have to worry about that,
I
like the
remember.
stress levels of,
Yeah.
playing time
It had to have
and
been
making
tough.
cuts.
Hey, and I guarantee I didn't make it easy on. I remember, dude, one practice. I remember it. Dude, I must have hit like 8 or 9 threes in a row. I was just draining them.
Yeah.
And I think I wasn't getting like playing time or whatever the reason was.
Yeah.
And I said something smart. I know I did.
1,000%.
Hey, and I don't know who his assistant was at the time, but he pulled me off the court and reamed me in the hallway where the locker rooms were because I said something, hella smart. Shouldn't have said. But that's like I remember that one basketball moment where I was killing it in practice, and I
Who
probably
keeps
said
hair?
something like like about playing time or something smart, But
That's crazy.
yeah,
I'm
it
trying to
was
think
probably.
What's nuts is the stories that I've heard about what Joseth had to go through with all these jerks.
For
I would have quit basketball after a couple of years. There's no way I would have stayed coaching.
For real.
You gotta give Coach Joseph props just for sticking with it because
Bro,
the level of disrespect that these guys had was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know I was bad. He probably if he's got a good memory, he probably remembers like, dang, I'm glad like most of those seniors decided to just quit their senior year because that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so crazy. But yeah, man, that's
Randy, I just
it's
seen
fun
you
looking
pulled
back at
out
that.
some hair. Whose hair was that? Was that your hair?
No, that was one of the ex-girlfriends, man. It was crazy.
My gosh.
Wait a minute.
Wow. One of the ex-girlfriends? Are you serious?
Dude, Randy has so much stuff. Randy could do dude, that's crazy.
Guys, you need to just do a podcast on just Randy and his pictures, bro.
For real.
For real. He really does have an amazing amount of memorabilia.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
And the fact that he has it and he knew where it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because a lot of people's it's at their parents' house. Like I think like Bree has like a chest like that. Probably not as extensive. Who else said that they have stuff at their parents' house? But multiple people have said that they have stuff.
It was Tanitra.
Oh yeah, Tanisha has stuff at her parents' house. I don't think as much as you did.
94, 95.
That's hilarious. So now you guys have kind of seen a lot of these podcast episodes. I feel like this is a good time to kind of ask, is there any moments from anybody's episodes that stick out or things that you remember that maybe you want to comment on?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Okay.
So, Ralph Feltus's episode, when he talked about physics.
Yep, I remember that class.
Yes. So that class was absolutely crazy. We had everybody in there, right? And I can remember at the very, very beginning, he goes, listen, guys, I want to call you by whatever you guys go by or whatever you like to be called, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going by, and a lot of people are just going by their regular names. I remember Daniel Chave went by D-Loke because we always called him D-Loke. And then I can remember it got to Ezra, and Ezra's like, well, when I was young, everything just came real easy to me. So my mom always called me Easy E.
Yes.
I can literally
I
remember
remember. I
that
remember
he
that.
used to
I was
call
there.
me.
Easy.
And so then also his whole story totally reminded me of yes. So I was 100% struggling. And up to that point in school, honestly, that was one of the first classes that I can remember ever really being like, man, what is going on? Like, what is happening in this class? Like, I'm just not used to struggling, right?
Yeah.
And his little pamphlet, which taught you nothing of anything really, it
Yeah.
just had questions. It had, that was it.
Yeah.
And yes, that was 100% me that went to the principal and I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't struggle in class. Not to
Right.
no, did not
No.
get principal myself.
When he said parents were involved, I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think Jay's parents would get involved
There
with
was
this.
no
Yeah.
need my parents. I went
Yeah.
straight to Tim Sherry himself and was like, listen, this is ridiculous. Is this really what we're supposed to learn physics off of?
Yeah.
And that next day, our entire class marched down to the library, got that textbook. And honestly, I know Ralph said from then on he didn't learn anything. But from then on, I was able to complete every single thing.
Yes.
That ain't you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You.
you
You
took
took
that
a picture of
bro.
some
You took
random
it.
dude.
Yeah, that's not Randy.
Yeah.
That's a
No.
random guy at the mountain.
Nah, you took that picture, bro.
Of who?
Jay did.
That's
Of
not
me.
me.
That's me.
And that ain't you.
That's me. That's my red ride board right there.
All right, I'll give it to you. It probably was. He didn't land that though. He ate crap as soon as he went down.
Hey, this is the trick that Brienne was talking about when we went to the 8 caves when we were in junior high.
Junior high?
Yeah, that's her right there I remember her wearing this like chameleon jacket all the time.
That's crazy that you remember that out of all the things. Like that's wild.
She would wear that jacket all the time.
It's
All the
crazy that his memory is so good, considering.
No.
Considering he was worried that his memory was not that good.
Yeah.
So that was one memory I had from Ralph's that he pointed out. I gotta say though, honestly, I love all the episodes.
Thank you.
I love seeing from Tanitra. I mean, bro, I've known Tanitra since 4th grade, 5th grade, whenever she came to Camas Prairie.
Yeah, well,
We've pretty much been in every single class together since she came.
yeah.
So like it was just crazy seeing her and hearing about her, and so yeah, I mean honestly, but Ralph's episode really got me when he was talking about that because I totally forgot about that. And
Class was so weird. Like
it was a weird class.
Yeah, because before you went, because like I said, it felt like half the class was messing with them. And then like, with the easy ease and like all the other stuff. And then like, it was just, to me, I struggled in there and the energy was just off.
Hey, ever since after I got that textbook and I was actually able to go home and see like examples and this and that, and I could teach myself. I mean, I wind up getting an A in the class.
100%.
Because you don't struggle, bro. You don't struggle. You don't struggle. So something had to be wrong.
Back then, as far as school went,
yeah,
100%.
You didn't mean back. What do you mean back then? Like to this day, bro? What do you mean?
No, I struggle all the time.
No, but I think what's funny is like that like being naive and like that and like having that mentality is such a it sucks that sometimes life makes us lose that. Because I feel like, man, that's such a superpower of just being delusional, where it's just like, you should think, I feel like we should all think things should work out for us. That's how I feel like we should think. But I feel like so many times, throughout the years, things don't. And so then now we are less likely to expect things to work out for us. You know what I'm saying?
Life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way. But it's like, no, like that's what's beautiful about being a kid is that you don't have a lot of those past memories where life kind of beats you down or does whatever. Everybody goes through their own stuff, but I just feel like that's something that, especially us, our age group, like if you feel like maybe like you're not exactly where you're at, that's okay because there's still hella life left. But what's crazy is it's hard to get back to that mentality where it feels like you should have that mentality where it's like almost delusional that that you're not that you're struggling with whatever. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and
It's because
when you're young, you just don't know what you don't. You know what I mean? You haven't
it's
had enough
true.
life experience to be like, yo, this like I'm probably gonna fail at this. We were just arrogant, so
Yeah.
we just did it. Now it's like if you had enough experiences where you've hit a wall or whatnot, then you're a little
Yes.
more cautious in taking risks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we should all take more risks at our ages now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I think we should
I
be
take a risk every time I buy manager special meat at the grocery store.
for sure,
But
for
hey,
sure,
you got to do what you got to do.
for sure. Speaking of, man, that was so good. Who was the funniest out of your class, you would say, Jason? And then who do you think was funniest out of of the 98 class?
Man,
Good question.
out of my class,
Yeah.
I
Besides
mean,
yourself.
people were funny. I don't know if they were trying to be funny, but man, like anytime like Drew and Alan were together, Drew always cracked me up, man. Like
Yeah.
that group,
Drew's comical.
yeah, like just that group just always were cracking jokes and like they weren't trying to be funny. I mean, I think my brother's funny. I just at this point it's I've not it's just kind of I can see why people say Josh is well we have a saying like Josh is
Yes.
joshing. We just call it joshing. Like that's just Josh, But yeah, I mean, from my class, yeah, I don't really. Well, first of all, my memory is trash from. I mean, I don't really remember too much from high school, man.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be honest,
Such a specific question too, so that's why it's like
Hey, I will say who I thought was extremely funny from Jason's class,
yeah.
and mainly because, we played football together, we were linebackers together, but John Johnson.
John was pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh,
Bro,
okay.
listen.
We were boys too.
And the thing about John, right? We used to always have this thing where we always used to do the little outcast, right? Me and you, and we always used to, right? And so, like, whenever he would make a hit in practice, or whenever I would make a hit in practice, we'd get up and we'd look at each other and we'd just do the bounce, right? That's all we would do. And John, I don't know what it was, man. John just always made me laugh, man. John was a
Yeah, that dude was funny. That
Yeah.
dude was
Yeah.
fun.
For sure.
Individuals
You
are
know who else
funny.
is pretty funny? I mean, I know he had his different sides, but man, Steve Bitts used to always make me laugh like crazy.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Steve, but
Yeah.
man, that dude, he could make me laugh no other. For
R.I.P.
sure.
John too. Dang. Both of
Yeah,
them, man.
John. Yeah, R.I.P.
That's crazy.
John. That's
What were you
crazy.
gonna say,
Yeah.
Jason?
Well, I was just gonna say it's like when certain groups get together is when like
Yeah.
it is really when it comes out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I mean, me, my brother, and Jay, dude, when we get together, it's really just a roast. I mean, it's nothing but the meanest shit you could say to somebody, and it's just funny for some reason. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
Like just the other day, we were at my brother's house, and Jay came over, and he noticed my license plate covers, and I forget what he said. It wasn't very nice, but it was funny.
That's funny. Randy, who do you think was funniest from Jason's class from 97 and who do you think was funniest from 98 from our class?
Tell you. I couldn't even tell you, bro. I would say I would agree with Jay with Bits. Steve Bits was hella funny.
Yeah.
John was definitely funny.
Yeah,
they went to my school. I think John went to my school, right? Spanaway
Yeah.
Junior. Yeah, with Leroy.
What about our year, 98? And Jason, what about our year, 90 or 98? Who do you think was funniest in 98 for both of you guys?
I grew up with. I went to school with Billy Langdon. I never thought he was funny. Never.
I didn't think he was funny until after high school.
Armitage was funny to me.
Tim's funny. He's always funny.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, everybody's gonna say their own, favorite, but like, dude, you know what I'm saying? That was funny.
It was the parties that we all ended up at too,
He would have it lit. I would be rolling.
Yeah.
Phil,
Enough is enough.
Hey, another story now that actually I'm thinking of this real quick. So I think Tally was the one that brought it up. No, Tally wasn't the one that brought it up, but Mike Tally, I believe, is the one that took Erichar's jersey home and washed it.
That
Because
sounds about right.
someone just brought Warren Stewart. Warren Stewart just brought it up. And literally, you would walk by his locker and there would be flies around it and strong odor coming from it. And I want to say it was Mike Tally that stole his jersey, brought it home, and washed it. It was great. So that brought, some memories to me when Warren was talking about that.
For sure.
And then just like how Warren was talking about how strict his dad was.
Yes.
I can totally remember all that, bro. His dad was a drill sergeant. And you know what though? It paid off.
Yeah.
It paid off. I
For
mean,
real.
I wished my dad would have instilled that much discipline in me. As much as it would have sucked back then.
It's so crazy. I say the same thing almost almost to a T. Like, my parents were already kind of strict, but like, no, I feel like that would have helped me because for sure. And like, I even feel like even being in the military right after high school would have helped me too.
And for some reason, I want to say, just remember them. I remember everybody saying that Warren's dad played college ball.
I couldn't.
I don't remember. Like I said, it was a long time ago. But, hey, big props to Warren's dad because,
For sure.
Warren played D1 ball, and nobody else that I knew that was on our squad played D1 ball.
Exactly. Yeah. For real. Jason, Randy, any other episodes that you've watched that anything spark any sort of memories from, just even growing up in Spanaway in general, like any of the like old businesses that, maybe aren't around anymore that you remember going to or anything that?
Friday night for us was Home Video Express right in the corner where it used to be next to, I want to say it was an Ernst back then.
Okay.
Home Video Express was the original.
Home Video was before Hollywood and all the other ones because that's the one we used to go to. I remember going to Home Video, and I don't know if you guys remember this video, but it was called Faces of Death. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Bro. It was just I don't even know if they were real, but they were videos.
It was just a bunch of little clips, right?
Of just murders. I
I
remember that there was this one where this dude was his each limbs were tied up to horses and they just pulled them apart.
Wow.
And how real it was. And I can't believe Mom rented it for us. You know what I mean? Like, how did that happen? But it also had like the adult section in there, and like when you're little, you try to like
take a peek
over the, or you just be like, like people be going in and out of there and just renting them, like, no big, like dude walks in, grabs like 4 videos, comes out, and he's standing in front of a family of 4. They just rented some Disney movies and he's renting some non-Disney movies,
Home Video Express was the original. But that was like junior high though, because I think by high school Hollywood came in.
Yep.
Well, I know by high school because we all talk about the one guy that worked at Hollywood.
My cousin, Mishi worked there.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time we were in high school, Hollywood Video came into play.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, I work in Pierce County, so lately I've been driving through all the old neighborhoods and just get a flood of memories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I remember you at Grease. What was your
Jay Thomas and Grease Monkey?
Yeah, when I worked at Grease Monkey. Yeah, so across the street was Dairy Queen. And at Dairy Queen, Jonah was working there.
Jonah, that's right.
So every day I would come to work, I would always get like a chicken basket and she would throw in the whole like bag of chicken strips. And then she would let me make my own blizzard. She would let me throw in whatever I wanted, you know what I mean? And I never paid for that. I never paid for it because I would change her oil all the time.
I worked at stock market right there in the same spot.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
you and
parking lot.
Me, Josh, Courtney, Richard Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Josh used to in the summertime, he used to just go back in the freezer section and just sit and just like eat yogurts and stuff. or crack open chocolate milks, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Good old
spot, bro.
stock market.
Oh yeah. And then Jay, your first job was at Boston Market, right? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first and only job in high school. And honestly, I've only ever had 2 jobs, and Boston Market was my first one.
That's crazy.
I've had so
I mean, I
many
guess
jobs.
technically I had 3 jobs because I did my own thing for a while and I had a dispensary and all that. So like that was technically my third job, but I've only had 2 jobs in my life, which is crazy because most people have
Multiple, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many.
Yeah.
And I
My
barely worked. I barely worked in high school because I mean I always played a sport.
Yeah.
And so whenever I played a sport, I would never work during the week. I would only work on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I basically just made enough money to take us to the movies every once in a while.
Sure, for sure. Randy, what were you gonna say? Your first job?
My first job was McD's with Tom Harris and his mom's.
Dude, his mom used to hook it up, bro.
Bruh, it was the spot. Like you would come up and order a cheeseburger. I'm giving you 5 different
Yep.
bags of food.
They lived in that. They lived in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Helga.
Yeah.
Yep. She hooked
Yeah,
it up.
she hooked me up.
Yeah.
Remember, do you guys remember we had a barbecue? Do you guys remember the barbecue?
Yes.
Hell yes,
Was it
I
that was
remember
at Spanaway
barbecue.
Lake? That was at Spanaway Lake, right?
I think so.
Spanaway Lake
But
Park.
Yeah, Spanaway Park by the hoop.
Tom brought like a box of cheese for just this big ass box of cheese for burgers and stuff. I mean, he might have brought burgers too. But I just remember seeing that big ass box of cheese from
Was
McDonald's.
barbecue, was that our senior year?
I believe
I
so.
wanna-
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah, senior year. Everyone was at that thing.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. But you said Tom, and then that reminded me that he came through with I think he came through with just basically all the things that besides maybe the buns to make, but he came through with like cheese, lettuce,
So you basically had McDonald's burgers.
pretty much. And they were bomb. They was just like, this is pretty dope that we just had all these random people bring random stuff because we're not very organized. We were seniors in high school, so we weren't organized at all. And it was just kind of like a hodgepodge of random stuff that was showing up like, hey, what's
It
coming?
wasn't like we were making a menu.
Exactly. And we had a list of what different people were bringing. It was just
Yeah,
like, let's hope people
exactly.
bring what we need. And it kind of worked out. And it was just so random that it did what
worked
it
out.
did. Yeah. So
Love Tom, man. I know Tom since 7th grade.
for sure.
His brother Mike, yep. They had a little brother.
Actually, when I met Tom, I can remember 7th grade English class, Miss Nyborg's class. Tom Harris was in there. I don't know
Wow.
how I remember that, but Miss Nyborg's class, 7th grade, Tom Harris, me and him met. We were always friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on the podcast with him right now.
Actually, after I saw Corey Alexander's interview, I checked my phone to see if I even had his number still, and I sure did, and hit him up that night.
Oh,
And so ever since then, yeah, we linked up. I came over. I went, like I said, I work in Pierce County, so I swooped by during work and kicked it for a little bit, chopped it up, and yeah, that was good because I haven't talked to him probably 15 years, really.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the people I talked to or didn't talk to. I mean, I haven't talked to a lot of people over 20 years. I mean, I talked to
And that's
Jay.
a lot of us. Yeah.
I mean, I see you every once in a while out and about at the concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, then I'll run into random people like Ryan Wieger. I ran into him at Costco.
Yeah. I ran into him.
Everybody loves Costco. Everybody loves Costco.
I ran into him at Chuck E. Cheese like 10 years ago.
Wow,
Yeah.
random.
That's random. That's one of the random.
100%.
Oh yeah.
And then one of the other random meetups was not meetup, but so my son, I think he was going to, I think it was elementary or middle school. Was it middle school or elementary? It was actually an elementary school, and I noticed that one of his teachers was Elaine.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, I know Elaine.
Yeah.
And so they had the first day, like, you know, when you go meet the teacher and shit.
Yes.
So I went there with my son and the wifey, and I walked in and I was like, oh, dang, it is her.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when we met up, I asked her, hey, do you remember me? And she was like, yeah, of course, Randy. And I was like,
Wow,
yeah,
yeah.
this is my son, Jordan. And then
That's
we
crazy.
just, you know, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, she was actually my kid's teacher. So Jordan's my son who's 19, and then Victoria who's 16 now.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And this is when he was in elementary school.
Yeah, so maybe like 6 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Right.
Jason, where's the most random? Do you ever just randomly see somebody from Spanaway at the most randomest place that you can ever think of, where you're just like just random running?
Years ago, I ran into Drew at the Tacoma Mall. I ran into Dustin Conley at SARS Marketplace in Parkland. Him and Curtis were together, actually. Curtis Miller. Yeah, they were together. I'd see Curtis at like ball games, you know, when my daughter was, you know, in middle school, and I think, you know, he had kids in, you know, whatever, at the same school. But yeah, nothing. That's about it, really.
Yep. Jay, what about you? Ever see anybody just super random?
Costco, probably.
I mean, yeah, definitely. You know, like I said, I just seen Heidi and Jason. Haven't seen them in a while. I used to play softball with Jason, so I used to see him quite a bit with him and Heidi, but he
I think the
kind of.
best ones are like, if you're
We
out
were
of
on the
state,
same team, wasn't he?
super
Yeah,
random.
honestly, the only time I really seen was when we were in Vegas and we just happened to randomly see Joel.
That was crazy. That was
Was
crazy.
wild.
That
it was
is,
like, what is happening right now?
yeah. That was probably one of the most random. I like those out of state, like you're just like, dude, this is the most randomest place I think that I would ever see somebody from Spanaway, and then somebody from Spanaway just shows up. It's just
That is
like,
crazy.
dude, are you serious? Yeah.
Hey,
Man.
you know what? Actually, so from Christie's podcast, when you guys were talking about Red Rocks,
Yeah,
and
Red Rock
you said you
Amphitheater.
never
Yeah.
heard Red Rocks, bro. Listen, that is like on my bucket list is to go to Red Rocks.
Should
Like,
we go?
I
Let's
mean,
do it.
I am down.
August,
Let's-
Common Kings, August.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would love to see Common
August?
Kings there.
for
Yeah.
sure. Let's go.
And I mean, the only other place that really Red Rocks, I've heard amazing things about it. I mean, the gorge is obviously somewhat similar. It's an outside amphitheater
But
like
the
that.
rock,
But
it has like a special acoustic to it
it's
that
because
really
of the
amplifies.
rocks.
Yes, it's the rocks. And then it's also, you have to be careful for if you're going to do anything like drink or smoke up there, because the altitude is so high.
altitude.
So you need the less of whatever you're doing. You don't really need a lot to get where you're trying to go.
Which means half of this group wouldn't even make it to the damn concert. They'd be passed out.
Hey, I will say
You might
when
have to train
you guys
for it, like you literally might have to train for it, just because like the altitude is so high. But
it's different.
like
It's a
Dude,
It's
I've been
different.
training. I've been training for a long time, bro. I've been training.
when you guys actually when you and Christy were talking about Common Kings, it
Yes.
made me actually think of a story of you and I.
Yes.
This was probably one of the dopest concerts I've ever seen because it was such a small venue. Was Common Kings came to Muckleshoot, and they performed in that little teeny bar area.
Yeah.
But you had to be a Muckleshoot like member or whatever of the gambling thing or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And it was free tickets, but you had to be a member.
Yes, that's
You
right.
got the free tickets, and we met you up there. It was me, Jonah, you, and maybe Stickle was with us. I know Jonah was for sure. I'm not sure if Stickle was, but dude, just the intimacy of that concert.
Yes.
I mean, it was pretty sweet. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it was
Because
amazing.
like, I don't know if you heard that one. I saw them in Brooklyn Bowl in Brooklyn, in New York.
Yeah.
And
That
it was
would've
like
been amazing
it was
too.
cool, but the energy was not the same as like a
Yeah, it's-
Washington concert, because a concert in the state of Washington for Common Kings is different, which I
We
also
have
think,
so many islanders here.
yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like a West Coast concert for those guys is way different than a New York concert for those guys. So it's like,
Yeah.
but
And they
no,
probably perform better out here as well
for
because
sure.
they feel the love, right?
For sure. Were you guys at the Common Kings concert? I don't know. This is a couple of years ago now. It was back in like September 2023. This is before I left Seattle to come out here, actually. It would have been
I think I missed
September.
that one.
It was at,
that.
it was in Redmond. It was
It
at,
was at the Marymore Theater. Or
yes,
Marymore.
Marymore Park or
Isn't
whatever.
that we saw you, or was that slightly?
Yes, I saw you guys there at another
Yeah,
concert.
I got that picture on my Facebook. That's my main picture where we were chilling at the table.
Yeah, yes. Oh, that was a different concert, but yes,
Oh,
yeah,
that was a different
yeah,
one?
That was Revolution. That was
Yeah.
Revolution and
Okay.
Iration.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been to that concert multiple times.
I love going to that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. They come pretty much every single year.
No, yeah. No, so I think those bucket list items for sure, like, and I think we could cross them off this year if we just make some planning, because I think that would be fun to go down to Red Rock. I think that would be.
Red Rocks for sure. And honestly, I would love to go visit Christy and go snowboarding with her kids, bro. I know they're probably way better than us because
Way
kids
better.
are fearless.
Yeah.
But I mean, Randy and I are no slouches. I mean, we'll
man.
keep up with them. We won't take
Hey,
jumps
you want me to show you
like
that
they
picture
do.
again? You want me to show you that picture
Of
again?
some random dude jumping? Yeah, show me the picture.
So
Hey,
speaking of
so
things, Randy, I hear you have a boat.
Yeah, I'm in it right now, baby.
Oh, is that what you're in? Damn, that's tight.
Yeah. See, I'm in my boat. It's just in the garage,
That's tight.
so I'm trying to get it ready for us.
Nice.
So we were coming through. It was a UW football game, so everybody was out right outside of the stadium.
yeah.
And they were all moored and everybody was partying and watching. And we were coming through the Montlake Bridge area and like Randy's boat sucked up a hat. And as we were going through the little canal, we lost all power. Like we couldn't nothing, we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And people were passing us and like we couldn't control where we were going. And luckily one guy stopped and towed us out.
Well, at first, when that engine died, dude, at that time, because I couldn't even stand up in the boat, I was falling over, right? Trying to
Yes.
grab the rope. And so when I looked at that dude, I go, hey, can you help us out and tow us? He was like, no. And his
Wow.
wife was like, yeah. So I tossed the rope to the wife and she caught it. And then he had to take us off to the side.
Dude.
So
that's
as soon as he got us over to the side, I jumped down into the back of the engine and had to dig out that hat, but it took me a little bit. And once we got that dislodged, then we were out.
Yeah.
The moral
damn.
of the story is
Boats.
maybe
Don't
don't
on the boat.
can operate a boat.
No.
Well,
no.
I mean,
Man.
yeah, boating is sweet though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of that this year for sure.
For real. That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe a little boogie boarding, maybe a little bit of jet skiing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was on the back on a tube, it wasn't good.
It was bad. I was with you.
I know.
Listen, you think inner tubing and everything is absolutely a blast.
Yeah, it
which
looks
when you're
fun.
a kid,
It
when
looks
you're
like
a
it should
kid,
be
it is.
relaxing. You should be on the lake. It's nice out, you know. It sucks, bro.
How so?
Well, you gotta hold on, you know. Like, you gotta-
It
You do
depends
have
who
to
the
hold
driver
on.
is, though. It depends who the captain is. If
Well,
you
Okay,
ride
so
with me, we cruising.
we had my brother-in-law Ed pulling Jason and I on an inner tube on my brother's Sea-Doo. And it's powerful. I mean, it's, and so I can remember you're held up and you're pulling yourself up, and at first it's all good. Then your arms start to get tired. So then you start getting back on the inner tube a little bit. And then you start ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Well, guys have balls. And when those balls are slapping on the water, it does not feel good, dude.
dude, it was terrible. Our legs are just being smashed together. I'm literally holding on for dear life. there's only a quarter of us is on the tube. We're not even really on the tube. It's just we're barely hanging on.
Yep.
No, if you come here, Heinz, we can go out on the boat and just be kicking it, man. Like, dude, I
Hey,
love it.
so
I love it.
the crazy thing was as Ed's driving the Sea-Doo and I'm yelling at him, slow down, slow down. You're going, right? And we're just bam, bam, bam. I can remember, like Jason said, we're 3/4 of the way off of this tube. And finally we're just like, screw this, like we're done.
Yeah.
I remember we go around this corner, I let go. As I hit the water, my swim trunks, they literally come, they're down my legs. They're about around my ankles. I reached down and luckily grabbed them. I almost was completely, I was butt naked. I almost lost my shorts and luckily, I caught them. If they would have felt any more, I would have been like, yo, I don't have anything to wear to come into this, to come in.
It was terrible. It wasn't fun.
That's crazy.
It was fun, but it was a workout. It hurt.
We
looked terrible.
Yeah, it's way better going with Randy and just sitting in the boat and like cruising.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna get on the inner tube and I'm gonna take you.
No.
Man, is there for all of you guys, is there anybody that from Spanaway, like, man, you're just you wonder how they're doing? Like that, if you wish you could reconnect with them, like who would that person be?
I would have to say probably Mickey Travis.
Sure.
I haven't talked to him in a very long time. That he moved to Florida, so now it's really gonna be pretty impossible to go see him. You know what I'm saying? Probably another person would be Corey Jones, which he lives down here somewhere. So it's just really getting a hold of people and actually going to meet up.
Yeah. Which is like, that's half
Making the schedule work.
That's half the issue because everybody's so busy and lots of stuff. Jason, what about you?
And really, you got to plan. You got to plan something. You know what I'm saying? You like right now, we got to plan. Hey, let's go to Red Rock. In August, and then everybody, start getting ready for that or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only way things
it's
are gonna
April
happen.
already.
Pre-plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, how about you? Anybody that, like, if you had a wish list of like, man, I wonder how so and so's doing, and
Well, dang, man, I hope, everybody that I considered friends or I was close to back then, I hope everybody's doing good. Like June, like I was real close with Regina.
Oh yeah.
I hope she's doing, I'm sure she's doing good. She was, bro, like,
yeah,
She was.
like the twins, Kenny and Kevin, Jason Helwig,
Yeah.
Richard Robinson. I used to run into him quite a bit. I hope he's doing good, man. Everybody really, I hope everybody's doing good.
Well, that's what I like. I like this this podcast you're doing, man. It's reconnecting people. Even giving a chance to reconnect with old homies.
yes. That's kind of the goal, is like, yeah, man,
Right.
well, why not? Why not? Let's use this as like a home base for everybody to kind of like, hey, everybody kind of knows what so and so, or like kind of maybe at least like what area of the country you're in or wherever country you're in, and
Right.
it allows people that want, because basically a lot of people that come on is like, man, hit me up, because it's all about reconnecting, right?
Yeah,
And then
hit me
those
up.
that haven't come on are basically, no, I'm good, I don't really need to see all you Spanaway people yet, or whatever, because how many people have not hit me up yet? What are you gonna say, Jason?
No, I was just gonna say, like obviously I'm always on YouTube scrolling, and obviously this is cool for us because
Yes.
it's where we're from, it means something to us. So dude, I think which I can't remember which one it was which I didn't really know him all that well, but the football player, West Point and all that, you know.
Warren, yep.
Dude, I was watching that at like 2:00 in the morning, bro.
Yeah.
I love these videos. Even if I don't know you and I didn't really,
Yeah.
I just love the stories of Spanaway.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody has where they grew up. It's their story. They all have these memories. Ours just happens to be Spanaway and Spanaway Lake. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's cool.
Because like you like we all get to talk about, like, because like your home video express story, like, man, I don't think I ever went in there, but that's like, it's crazy that store was there. Just like, I just love those, like, bringing up, tangible spots that we used to all like go to and be a part of. And
Dairy Dell, bro. Dairy Dell was the spot, man.
It's not there no more.
No, that
see,
was
yeah,
it's been long gone. It was Kelly's Cafe for a long time. I don't know if it's still that.
Yeah.
But Dairy was on point. I mean, that was like, yeah. I mean, that was where you went for. I mean, what they
Milkshake.
had the milkshake or their form of blizzards. I can't remember what they were called.
Where was that at? Where was there?
Right
Dairy
next to
Dell?
the lineup on
Pack-
by Spanaway Junior or by Spanaway Elementary, right across from like Payless Shoe Store, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Pacific on Pacific.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, back then, right next to Dairy Dell, I mean, when I was growing up in elementary, I used to go to the line. Whenever I got any kind of money or anything, I would go to the lineup, buy baseball, football, basketball cards. And it was just like, that was, I mean, and what's really nuts is I still have every single one of them. I know exactly where they're at.
For real?
Yeah, every one of them.
So you saved
Like,
all
my
those.
my parents never got rid of them. My mom's been gone
Shoot,
for a
you
long
could have just
time.
gave them to Randy.
No, there were some money.
They're safe too. It looks like.
He
Look,
would've.
he's got hair.
Randy
He's got
knows
hair from the
everything.
90s.
Yeah, what's up with time capsule?
Hey, it's thinning though. It's thinning. It's thinning, bro.
No, I'm talking about other people's hair. You have other people's hair from the 90s saved.
That
had to be.
I was wondering with Jay, because for a lot of people that know Jay, he has been in the industry, or he's basically blazed for a long period of time. So for him to be on the last podcast, right? I think one of the most surprising things was when you mentioned that you don't smoke anymore. So, but I think at that point you were only like 2
weeks in, I think.
Which I kind of rolled my eyes behind my sunglasses because I was like,
yeah, you were like, oh, this ain't gonna last.
That's exactly what I thought.
That's most people's reaction, though, when you put Jay and no smoking together in the same sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's not like the proudest thing of, I'm not that proud of that. I'd be like to be known for a little something different than that, but
I'm very proud of you because well, that's why I wanted to say I'm very proud of you because how long has it been since you quit now?
So 9 weeks now. 9 weeks on Sunday.
That's dope.
So yeah, and like I was saying, I think I can remember the last. I mean, because Randy and I, we were snowboarding and we had like stopped on the side and some dude came somewhat close to us and maybe
swoop right next to me,
did a little powder in our direction, and Randy got up. He was like, what? Threw both his hands up, took his gloves off, threw him down in the snow, and he was like, what's up, bitch? And he was trying to chase this dude down the mountain and fight this guy. That's how like ornery he was just from trying to quit smoking. It was great. I mean, I was like, wow, tough guy, settle down. Like, it's not that serious. It wasn't like the dude ran into us, you know what I mean?
No, he just swooped right next to me, kicked a little snow, and I was on edge already. And I mean, I hate to be known for that. Just short fused. But that was it. I was short fused and blew up.
Randy took it like it was the highest form of disrespect that you could ever do to him, ever.
So it's crazy because a lot of your short fuses, Randy, happen on the basketball court, right? So for that to not happen on the basketball court is like, whoa, that's why I was just like, dang. Because, like, man, I get it. Like, when you were a hooper, man, like, when you were hooping, man, it's a different mentality. You had a different mentality, which, like I said, I think a lot of us respect you for that mentality of having that, even though it's, like, annoying when you're actually playing against you, right? But,
It was, I mean, I had a big man mentality. Like, dude, I would always take the biggest man, box him out, try to shut him down, because I like to play like that, rough. I like to push. I like to, jab them in the ribs.
Maniac.
and so and so that's how I played. And when like they got rough, I even got rougher. That's how I like to play. But
Yeah.
once you foul me, it's over. I'm fouling back. We're basically fighting on the court.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
which backfired for me, I guess, because I didn't make varsity. You know what I'm saying? And then that year when we had an open gym in senior year, I actually blew out my knee. I tore my meniscus, and so
Mm.
that's why in that picture I had a cane. The senior picture,
You see, the best
the
dressed.
best, yeah. That's why I had a cane, because I was just healing from meniscal tear.
Dang, it looked dope for the picture. It worked it worked perfectly for best dressed.
Yeah, and
So
just having a just having a bad attitude. And you know what? And that's one thing I would tell myself if I had a chance to go back is like, dude, chill out.
yeah,
Roll something up. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, chill. I mean,
Oh,
dude, I was so short fused, bro. And all that comes, I think, from home. You know what I mean? I didn't really have, a father figure. My dad was there, but
yeah,
they were so busy that they were never home.
yeah,
I was a problem child. At least I can admit it and know,
yeah.
validate it. So not.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister. She's 4 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't go to our high school. She got sent to the Philippines for like a few years.
Whoa.
Yeah, because she was
Yeah.
just getting in trouble here at home, and then
Yep.
my parents just decided to send her to the Philippines.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Wow.
just one sister.
she had to go to the Philippines and learn that real karaoke.
Right.
And then Jay, like, what's it like growing up? Like, what about your siblings?
Oh well, I have two. My sister's a year younger. My brother's 3. Yeah, yeah. He graduated in '01.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved having brother and sister. My sister never had to worry about anything because I kind of led the way, paved the way for her.
For sure.
And she was feisty in her own right, so it wasn't like she really had to work. She could
Yeah.
handle herself too. Which I'm sure she'll come on this thing. But we had the typical sibling. It was like she was in high school when I was in high school, and it was hard because like I can remember trying to go places with my girl, and my mom would be like, "Take your sister with you," and I'm like, I don't want to take my sister. Like, get out of here. Like, what? I mean, come on. So it was little stuff like that, but it's crazy because now, like, my mom passed away in '01. So I mean, early. She was
Yeah.
42. And so I think that kind of just made me and especially me and my sister and I,
Yeah.
um, close, and we're still
Yeah.
close. I mean,
Yeah.
I talk to her multiple times a week. I mean, I go over to her house. I mean, she doesn't live far. She lives, close to
Dope.
Spanaway Lake, and so I go over there a lot. My brother and I were close. I mean, he lives with me now, just kind of in between things. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's always been nice having siblings.
Yeah.
We both were kind of like when we played football. I know he was kind of the same way as I was, just kind of like crazy with
Yeah. Yeah.
not, I mean, like football, the game itself was cool, but to
Yeah.
us, hitting was better than the game,
Yeah. For
you
sure.
know?
For
So
sure.
we're both similar in that aspect. And when I had the dispensary, like him and I did it together with my
Dope.
cousin. Um, So, obviously I've seen him every single day. We work together, we work together now.
Dope.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, having siblings has been a great thing, and we're still really close. And I mean, like I said, from my mom passing early on, and then, my dad passed a few years back, just kind of brought us even closer together, I mean,
Yeah.
we're all we have left of our families, so it's like,
Yeah.
yo, we gotta, you know, and we live close, so let's stay close.
That's good. That's good.
So,
That's good to hear too, dude.
yeah,
Thank you guys for that. So,
of course.
what are some ways to make this show better? Do you guys have any?
I mean, I
thought?
love this. I love this. I mean, if we, you know, more roundtables, you know,
Yeah.
that's dope. However this turns out, I'm sure it'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I mean, I just think as people start to learn about this, I mean, some people obviously are not going to want to jump on.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, man, I really don't have much to talk. I mean, high school, I hated school, man. So, you know, I just wanted to go to school, get out, and then I chilled at home. I was a homebody. I didn't go to one high school party, not one party. So
Really?
I was boring, bro. Boring. Yeah,
No way.
I didn't really do much until after high school, you know, met
Yeah.
Christy and then, you know, had some
Yeah.
Papa Murphy's wild parties, you know. But yeah,
But me and Jason were also talking about how I was just surprised at how many people worked at Papa Murphy's,
dude,
and
it was the gateway. That was the gateway.
it was
Yeah.
like the
Lynette,
gateway.
you know, Lynette was the manager. She threw some parties.
Crazy parties.
Man,
I've been to a couple.
we
been to
had
a
a
couple.
party, and hopefully it's no big deal. It's years that, you know, it's a long time ago, but we had a party at the owner of Papa Murphy's. She obviously
Wow.
wasn't around.
Yeah.
It was yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah.
That must have been lit.
Those were some fun parties though, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were good. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, Jay, what are your thoughts? Anything, Randy?
You know, I mean, I like everything. You know what I want to see though? I want to see not just a round table, but I want to see us all in the same building.
That would be
doing it.
I
dope.
was gonna say that.
That would be
say
dope.
that.
Yeah. Like an
Like-
actual round table.
Yeah, true round table.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know, we're sitting around really feeding off each other's energy and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, obviously that's going to take some doing. You know, you'll obviously have to not be in Samoa,
For sure. Yeah,
But-
for sure.
but I mean, you know,
Yeah, I don't plan on being here forever. Trust me. This
Yeah.
is temporary for sure.
Yeah.
Just the internet alone is annoying as
I get it. Not everyone's comfortable coming on here speaking about, you know, whatever their life, this and that.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm one
I've
of 'em.
always been an open book, so
Yeah.
you know, it's just kind of how I am. So I don't have a problem at all. But I get it. You know, I totally get why people don't want to come on, and that's cool. I'd love to see more of Zach, but you know, I get it. You got kids and football and all that, so it's tough. I get
It
it.
is.
You know,
Yeah.
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 We should do one from the parking lot of Costco, dude. That would be dope. And then we go into Costco and we do some shopping.
I mean, I think I'm going to do probably a whole YouTube video on just like all the different, I think I've kind of mentioned it, not only on this podcast, but on Chrissy's that I just recorded earlier today. But yeah, I have like all these hella ideas for us 40 and over stuff. And a lot of it has to do with grocery stores. And a lot of it, like Costco is just like an amazing place to film content.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially, listen, for me being out here, all American grocery store content I'll eat up, especially if I know you. But like, man, show me because we don't have half of those products out here. So just seeing those products, just like, man, I feel like it'll help motivate me. Just to, it's comforting and motivating at the same time for me, just to see
You wanna
what's
hop
on the
on
shelves out there.
Let me
That's how
get outta here.
that's how long it's been since I've been around. So
Listen,
But-
I just seen a meme. I just seen a meme the other day, and it was like clubs when we were in our 20s, and you know, it had a club, and everybody was walling out and everything.
yeah,
And then it was like our club and our fees, and it had a picture of Costco and Walmart.
yeah.
And I was like, "That's so true. That is so true."
It's so true. It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Randy, what any thoughts on and ways to make this better at all, or
You know what? I love what's going on right now, and you know, as it goes on, I think you'll be able to fine tune it. But like,
Yeah.
I agree with Jay. I mean, the next step would get everybody together and kind of, you know, shoot a weekend together. You know what I mean? See what
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think actually finding some in real life sort of get-togethers would be nice. So
Yeah,
that
maybe
would,
throw, another big June birthday barbecue over
yeah.
somewhere, and then like have some actual footage of the barbecue and throw that into the mix or
Do it at
something,
Spanaway Lake, bro. It's got to be there.
That would
Spanaway
be
Park at
Or
cool.
least.
Spanaway
That would
Park,
be
yeah.
cool. Do you have
Yeah.
to rent out though? I don't know how anything
I'll see
works
if
again
I can
these
get a
days.
big box of cheese from McDonald's. I'll bring that through.
We'll throw another barbecue.
Yeah, because I feel like, yeah, just having all of the, basically whoever wants to come. Park is a perfect place if you have kids, don't have kids, whatever. Great place to kind of get everybody together. And like, if you want to come, you could come. And if you don't want to, it's all good too. And
Hey,
open
not
it up to
only
everybody.
we're getting to the age where not only are there kids, but they're grandkids, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is wild. That is wild that
Yeah.
we're even at that age. So, yeah, man. Do you guys have any last words at all before I basically land this plane here? Anything last that you guys kind of want to bring up? I'll let you start off first, Jay.
I mean, honestly, I think I kind of touched on them. I mean, the Ralph and the whole physics thing. That's been on my mind since I heard that.
For sure. For sure.
You know, I've reached out to a couple people to try to get them to come on, but I don't think they're really on Facebook anymore.
All good.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't do too much of Facebook, but I just I love where we're all at,
for sure.
regardless of where we're all at. It's great,
That's a great
so
quote. I love where we're
it
at, regardless of where we're all at. That's a good one.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's sometimes you don't always appreciate where you're at,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
But life is what it is, and it takes you where it's going to take you. So just enjoy the ride, and appreciate the people that are in your lives, and always like reach out to people, man, because
That's
you
the one
never
thing
know.
that I
Life
feel
is
like
short,
this is
man.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
life
I
is
like
so
that.
short.
I like how people are reaching out behind the scenes, and so as this grows, right? Because this has been mainly 98, and so like Jason's the first 97, Torn was the first 99. So, I eventually want to like branch out to basically, everybody that's kind of like that knew our class and stuff. But, Randy, do you have any
My last word.
last words that you want to share with
I mean,
YouTube?
I think this is for all the people who are hesitant to come on. I mean, I was one of those people that was really, really hesitant and kind of, afraid, had fear, was fearful of being in front of the camera. But I think more, I mean, I definitely like this because I'm just really chopping it up, So
For real.
there's really nothing to be scared about because I mean, really, you're just chopping it up with some friends and just letting everybody else know without even calling them or getting you know what I'm saying? You're letting everybody else
Yeah,
know what you've been up to, and I think that this could be longer if we had different subjects to talk about, on focused subjects. I know we
yeah,
were kind of jumping around and stuff, but
yeah.
I mean, again, not being fearful to get on here and not worrying about how you're going to look on the camera. That was more of what I was, dealing with is like, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to say anything, out of pocket or anything like that, which I have. But I mean, it's really fun. Like I plan on doing more
Dope,
one-on-ones. I mean, now it
dope.
just broke the ice for me.
Yeah,
Now we can really chop it up on a one-on-one thing or a
for
group
sure,
thing. So you'll see me more definitely.
for sure. You have hella pictures that we didn't even
I
talk
mean,
about that you were just
that's
showing.
only a little
And
bit.
hair. And hair.
Yeah,
And
you have
hair,
hair.
dude.
You have a senior ball
Class.
Memorabilia.
glasses. Yeah,
Yeah, a flute, a senior ball flute. Like,
yeah.
are you serious?
That's crazy. So yeah, no, that's dope for sure. Yeah, you should come back
Definitely,
on
yeah.
eventually and all that good stuff. Yeah. Jason, any last words that you want to sort of
I
say out
mean,
there to the
yeah,
YouTube?
just to piggyback off of what Jay said, life is short, man. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I think, you know, like one of the questions you would ask in the other podcast, if you could go back and, you know, tell your, you know, your younger
Yes.
self one thing.
Yeah.
And not that I would want to change, you know, what I've been through up to this point, but I think the older we get, you know, when you're young, you don't have appreciation for life
You
because
don't.
you haven't experienced
I
enough
didn't.
life. And now, if I could go back and just tell myself to appreciate that moment, you know, that day, that moment of just like being a kid. I tell my son all the time, these are the best days of your life. You won't know until you're my age, but just
So
being a kid, being on your bike, riding around, no responsibilities, man, like that's the
Yeah.
best. But we don't
savor it.
we don't realize it until we're at this age, you know. But even
Yeah.
at this age, to appreciate the moment, the right now, you know,
Yes.
because that's all we have is right now.
Yes. I 1,000% agree. 1,000% agree. Because I also feel like, man, what I also hope this does is that it lets everybody know that not only do we have right now, but that, you know, there should be, for all of us, we should all have things we should be looking forward to. So that's why it's like, whatever that may be in your life, you know what I mean? And so that, as old as we may get, we're still going to have great things ahead of us, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of another thing I just kind of want people to realize too. So, but man, thank you guys. Man, we did it. Our first roundtable. Hopefully you
Great. It was
guys,
fun.
yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
we'll probably do more of these, and try to like structure them maybe a little bit better. This is just kind of like, you know, I kind of had a couple of
Just
things written
shooting the
down.
shit.
Yeah, but this
Just
is just
shooting the
shooting
shit.
the shit with the homies, you know, and just like, let's see how this turns out. And, yeah, hopefully everybody appreciates it. But, yeah, and thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys all on the next one.